coming. I was really sporty. 4th best high jumper in New Zealand for 2 years. I jumped a metre 64 twice. Everyone thought I was great, I was going places, and then I discovered punk rock. And it was all downhill after that. Excuse me. Sorry. Can I have some plates? Plates? I got it. Plates? Yes, chef. Oui, chef. Oh my God, they're really good.
She's very feisty.
Have we got enough food, Anna? Oh my God!
We have an argument. How do kids make up? She's a force of nature.
These fucking... I hate these squidgy bottles.
The Canteen is probably the best eatery in London.
Food is just better cooked gently, isn't it?
She's a sort of genius at hospitality. If she's at a party, you know it's going to be fun.
Goldie Hawn was screaming, I want more bone marrow. She had 3 portions of bone marrow. We love Goldie Hawn. She's very good. She's umphy. Can you go away for a minute? Have we got many bookings?
Yeah, we're quite busy. We're almost full.
Shit, man. And the canteen has been going for 8 years now. First day, I think there was 8 people, and we had 2 pop-up trestles, and we had a tablecloth, and everyone sat at one table together. And then we thought, oh, I think we need to get some tables. We're getting busy, we need to get some tables. And then we realised that we needed to get a cash machine, and then we needed to get a kitchen porter. Then it was suddenly a little bit busy, and we needed to get another chef. And so it sort of happened like that. There wasn't really a plan.
When you come in here, it's a very unmarked door from the street, so unless you know you're coming in here, it's not a restaurant that's attracting passing trade. So in a way, it's a bit of a club, and I love that about it.
Sometimes we have the Europeans having a hard time finding. Some people are working after 7 years of looking for it.
Build a field and they will come, in the words of Kevin Costner. That's what we did, we built our field. Okay, we have cauliflower fritters with coriander and spices. If you come through the door, you're my guest, really. It's just, I'm going to cook the food that I want to cook for you to eat today, and I really hope you enjoy it. We are deviling some crab with monk's beard, and we're also doing a curry. We're doing a curry?
Curry for a tasting.
Oh, we're doing a tasting, for wedding tasting. So we've got quite a few things going on. Oh, I really can't be bothered doing that.
Service, please. 1 croissant, 1 eel, table 7.
My food, it's hearty food. I think it's food that is quite grounded, that has, I like to think it has the land with it. It's food of the people. You know, we like to see a carrot with dirt on it, don't we? Not too much, but you know. We want good produce, happy animals that live good lives. I like it to be always a little bit messy, a bit chaotic, not to follow rules, to try and keep it in Britain.
Well, I like the food very much. I like the sort of plain Englishness of it. I like it that it's food that's not been faffed around a million times. You don't think that there's been teams of slaves working, fiddling to put little bits of things on top of other bits of things. I mean, she's not going to put gold leaf on anything.
Like little golden, I won't say. It looks good though. I like how hokey we are.
Everything in England is sort of tainted with some sort of, you know, class status points, and she's probably just blithely unaware of that. And I think actually by ignoring them, that's the only way to fight them, you know. A sort of nourishing quality that she has. A sort of straightforward idea that people should eat and have fun.
I've enjoyed working with Anna more than any other head chef I've worked with. So, I mean, and I've worked with a lot of head chefs. At the canteen, I think there's a gentle warmness about it. It's quite relaxed. I'm gentle, aren't I? Sensitive. Sensitive.
She's incredibly open-minded. If you want to try a new dish, she'll let you do it, and then she'll always come in and eat it. And then if she likes it, she'll be really positive. Even if she doesn't, she'll do it again. It's really uncomplicated in that way. I like working with her.
She is brilliant, but if anyone takes her, it is war. It is war. So that was where, Mum and Dad. Curly hair, before breastfeeding. The first woman I worked with in New Zealand was two women who ran a restaurant called Java. Alif Madhava was the head chef, and I just left school and I got a dishwashing job with her, and then she said, would you like to start cooking? And I said, yeah, I'd love to. And we made bread, she did great food, the menus changed, she taught me a lot. I didn't work in those really macho, hardcore kitchens. I worked in quite gentle ones. You know, people talked about sex quite a lot.
I think Margot's got a really distinctive style, similar to Fergus, but I think it's a little bit more feminine. Service, please.
What's that up today? It's all good, all good. And of course, Margot, I'm going to be biased anyway.
We follow the Fergus Henderson way. Did I say that? Well, I'm his #1 fan. I don't see why I shouldn't say it. The first time I met Fergus was beginning of the 90s. Fergus was working in a club called 17 Mercer Street in Covent Garden.
And Margot came up to see me cook.
And he looked really nice. And I just said hello and I said, great food.
And I think it was love at first sight.
He says he fell in love with me at that moment. Which I think is quite a good line. We talked about food non-stop and what we loved about restaurants and eating. I think it was more about just a passion for something so that something could grow out of the passion. But anyway, so we opened the French house and it was great. This is the French house, Dean Street, Soho. This was my neighbourhood for a long time, so it's like, it's a local. This is my local. Cheers.
Downstairs was this wonderful sort of louche pub jammed with, you know, permanent alcoholics. And lots of artists too. Sometimes when chefs emerge from their kitchens, you're supposed to bow down and worship or something. But with her it was just, oh, here's a fun lot of people, I'll come and chat to them, you know.
I have walked these stairs many, many times. Trudging up, pulling my babies up. Oh, beautiful old friend. Lovely man. He used to say that my babies were my shame. How was your shame today? Francis Bacon. It looks so different, it's all open. God, it feels so much smaller. Oh, I love this. These sinks, see, the sun would come in. It's such a nice kitchen.
In the 80s, there was a very big Italian phase, and then there were some older restaurants which still were sort of French cuisine, and one or two very boring and very expensive Japanese restaurants. But Margot and Fergus were presenting a much plainer food. Just things like peas in their pods, you know, very simple things. Things like cheese on toast, very unpretentious, and menus that you could understand.
Fergus taught me a lot of traditional British dishes, which I didn't know about. I cooked Mediterranean food, but I hadn't cooked that old school British food. And so that was really exciting to learn about British cooking, which so needed to be put on the restaurant because it just wasn't anywhere.
She's taught me to be organised. I was chaos, and she brought, which is vital in the kitchen, to be organised.
He was sometimes a bit late.
And she's taught me to duck.
I did smash a lot of clocks. I remember throwing clocks at him a lot.
But we could have quite a lively discussion. It's She turned me into a chef. She knocked me in shape and said, it's proper cooking.
I mean, we were madly in love. It was a really good atmosphere. And then Fergus left. He went off and opened St. John, which was a bit upsetting. No, he left me to have babies, you see. That's what happened. I was quite upset for about 10 years. But I'm not envious of him, I'm incredibly proud of him, because I think what he's done is really strong. And that book, I mean, I go all over the world and meet chefs and they say they were going to stop cooking, and they read his book and that gave them the passion and desire to want to be a cook again. Nose to tail eating definitely changed the world of cooking at that moment, because it allowed us not to chop everything up into squares. As Fergus says, if God wanted square vegetables, he might have made them. Then I had more children, so it became even more complicated to work. So Mel and I started catering. Sadie Cole's gallery in Soho, and it's Angus Fairhurst's show of his animations. Oh look, there's one of his gorillas. Hi, Sadie. Come and say hello.
Hi.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Angus said to me that he'd started to go for lunch at this place every day, and that's how we kind of met everybody. We all became very good friends, and in addition to that, we've had quite a lot of entertaining that Margot has done for us. In the art world, for instance, you are endlessly going to dinners, private views, events that have a certain sort of predictability about them. And I think before we were lucky enough to meet Margot, our dinners always consisted of sea bass with steamed vegetables and, you know, that kind of thing.
This party is not, this is about fashion, so it's their whole feel and look. And we're just helping them. The whole theme is gold. I think they've got a gold feel going with it. And so they employed me because I'm ginger. No, I'm not part of the theme. We've got to cook it out of a tiny little cupboard. So our main thing is to get the food, to get lovely food on the table that's not overcooked and that's delicious. Where's the other cake? Bye, Patrick. Mel and I have been driving cabs for about 7 years because of catering. I mean, when we first started catering and we had little kids, we didn't want to get a van that we couldn't put our children in because we needed and it seemed more of a glamorous way to arrive at little jobs. Oh no, it's open. I thought that was blocked. You right? It's just over here.
She is incredibly generous and incredibly good at giving and precise about giving food, and she will always. I mean, she's Mother Nature, Margot. She really is.
I think we need a whiskey, don't we? A hot toddy.
There's something quite splendid about our food. One, it's really good, and it has also often got a lot of sort of theatre and drama to it. And I think the staff are very good at what they do, and they know how we like things. So I think it will go really nicely, actually.
Yum. You could always have a glass if you want. Do you want a glass of wine?
Margot just sort of makes you feel like you're in her zone, you're in her environment. She's the hostess, and everything from the flowers on the table to cigarettes in a container on the bar, to the feeling that the party doesn't just finish at 10:30. It sort of feels like a wonderfully generous and inclusive event. It's all down to her. That is an incredibly wonderful feeling for somebody like me, to know that I can rely on that everybody's going to go away from that party feeling like they were special. That's what her parties are like.
Can I have a waiter to take this upstairs for me? Thanks.
But I think it's more than just the food in a way. I think it's the really inclusive, all-round experience that she's exceptionally good at.
So I'll take.
She's great fun because her energy levels are extraordinary. And some danger she may pop at some point.
She has this wonderful, wholesome sort of milkmaidy look, which is good. She's a sort of good advertisement for her own food. You think if I ate her food all the time, I would look like that and I would be very happy.
Can we move these platters, please? We're always so chaotic.
To be an artist is to care very much about what you're doing, and at that point where what you're doing meets the outside world, then it has to be really, really good. And you know that. Or not everyone does, perhaps, or perhaps they don't know what really good is, but Margot does. Margot's standards are on the plate.
Have you got enough? That's all the plates. Smiling out there, girls? Are they enjoying themselves? Okay, we're finished now. I'm going to get changed.
I think anybody who's creative to that extent is an artist, absolutely. I mean, I couldn't do what she does.
I've always been driven by cash. No, nothing.